second Valentine's Day evening date with Fulham, joined as usual by Matt Jones. Matt, just before we touch on Fulham, just want to go back to the Tottenham game. And did you notice how the winner came off the bench after we said the bench looked useless?
That's what happens on this show, isn't it, mate?
Off the course, isn't it?
Everything we say before the game about the team and how we think things are going to go tends to not work well at all. So yeah, that's just where we are, I think, with this show at the moment. But yeah, who are we going to slag off tonight? Who's going to score the winner? Let's wait and see.
That's it. We'll wait and see when the teams are announced. So the big thing about this game, the big stat that's been doing the rounds is that it's 14 games, I think, in the Premier League, isn't it? Everton have won all 14 Premier League home matches against Fulham. The best 100% winning record of any team versus an opponent on home soil in the competition's history. The actual record, though, stretches back 22 games, I think. The last time we dropped points at home to Fulham was 1959-60 when we drew 0-0.
I'm sure I read somewhere this week that it's the longest run of a team beating another team in a fixture in the history of English football, the English Football League.
Yeah, I think it is. So we've had a couple of cup games where they've beaten us. They beat us in 75 in the 5th round of the FA Cup. And I think we drew with them, didn't we? One year? Yeah, drew with them in 2004. But yeah, that record in the league is absolutely outrageous. Obviously, it's going to come to an end someday. It's not going to carry on forever. Hopefully not tonight. How do you reckon this one's going to go?
Be interesting to see the team. Obviously, that comes out in about 5 minutes, so looking forward to that. Although, apologies to those of you who thought this was going to be at 6:20 because I thought it was a 7:30 kickoff today, and that was the reason why we had to swiftly delete a tweet saying it was for then and put it up now. But yeah, it's not like I think the Newcastle game was one where I sort of thought we'd have trouble because of the way they play and just because of. There's just a bit of a feeling around them. I don't really get that from Fulham. I think they'll be a bit more expansive. I think they'll look to get on the ball a bit more. I think they've played well this season and controlled games and had a lot of joy in wide areas by doing good things on the ball. So I think they'll look to open the game up a little bit, whereas Newcastle didn't. So maybe it'll suit us a little bit more. Still want to see us have energy in midfield. Still want to see. Us be defensively sound because I think that's been an issue in some of these home games recently. We've sort of forgot a little bit about that, but do anything just to tune every game we've been in recently has been mad, hasn't it, mate? Even going back to that Leeds game, that was bananas at the end. 3-3, 5-4, just clean sheet, 2-0. Everyone calm down, have a nice cap off to the weekend. It'll be great.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it? We can't seem to have both things nice at once, can we? We're either scoring loads and conceding, or we're not conceding many, but we're not really scoring either. It's a bit of a weird quirk. It's sort of something that's followed us around for years, to be honest. I remember, under Moyes, we'd either have a dead good defence, but we'd never really score many goals. And if we did get a goal scored, we'd start shipping them. Very strange. Seems to be very Everton.
Yeah. It's just that this other league. I mean, I'm just watching Arsenal Leeds now, and Arsenal are 4-0 up, and it's 4-2 now. So it's just one of those seasons where mad things happen. You can get results like that, but I don't really see our game being like that tonight. To be honest, I think they've struggled for real potency, haven't they, in front of goal, and that's. I think if they'd signed Josh King, then they might have had a chance of pulling themselves back into it. But they just lack that real cutting edge, don't they, in the final third. The teams maybe like Leeds and other sides who are just a bit above them tend to have. But just a symptom of the mad season, isn't it, I think?
Yeah, definitely. It was nice to see Evan put Josh King on the cover of the programme for this one as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a wind up there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
If you're a Fulham fan now, you're looking at this and you're thinking he's nailed on to score tonight.
If we hadn't signed him,
yeah, we'd be thinking exactly the same. Hopefully, we'll find out in a few minutes, but hopefully he'll get a start tonight, which would be nice to see because Calvert-Lewin's still out, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not going to be playing. Interesting to see Phil Kirkbride from the Echo saying that Alan's with the squad tonight, and obviously we don't know if he's going to start or not for this game. But that's a I think that the manager said on Friday that he was not going to be available till midweek, did he? So he does that a little bit, doesn't he, Carlo? When he sort of tells lies about the players and whether they're going to be fit or not. We've had it a few times with James, haven't we, this season?
Yeah, he can be a bit liberal with the truth, can't he? Sometimes.
Yeah, all footy managers are.
Yeah, I suppose so. But I think with Alan, it'd be good to sort of if he is in the squad tonight, give him maybe 10 minutes tonight off the bench, half a match on Wednesday. I think really got to look to getting ready for the derby at the weekend, to be honest, because he could make a big difference in that game, couldn't he?
Yeah, you'd think so. Yeah, I think it's that sort of mentality that he brings and that leadership he brings that we've probably been lacking a lot down the years in games like that. And as much as they're pretty shit at the moment, Liverpool, we're going to go there and not have a lot of the ball, are we? So he's going to have to sit in and break things up. But I don't know, I think the thing that interests me about him and him coming back into the side is whether you can sort of have Tom Davies as the player who sits as the 6, and then you can have him and the core ahead of him a little bit in what you'd say are their natural positions, and you give him license to go and press the ball and get forward and join up, because Tom's done a great job, hasn't he, just sitting in front of that back four. So that's going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah, it gives him a defined role, doesn't it, where he just, as you say, just sits in that number 6 role and he breaks up the play and makes the short passes and the forward balls. But when we've been using Alan in that position, it's kind of wasted half of his game, isn't it? Because there's a lot more to him than just being that number 6. He can pick it up and run with it. He can do sort of what the Corey does, but probably not for as long a period as the Corey can.
Yeah, I think you saw in the games against Leeds, wasn't it? When he had a bit of that, he was allowed to get forward, and even though we lost that night, he was great. And then in the match where he actually came off injured last time against Leicester, him and Decore, it was when we were playing like 4-4-1-1, wasn't it, at that point? And him and Decore was sort of both taking turns to be that box-to-box player. And remember that night he was doing very similar as well in regards to getting forward, winning the ball back, making positive passes, just being dead positive with the ball. And that's a part of his game that maybe we all didn't really realise when we were getting him. We all thought he was just like defensive warrior who kicked people and tackled people, but he can carry the ball forward, he can break lines, and that's good to have. Certainly against teams who, I think by and large in the back end of the season, we've got a lot of teams that are below us in the league coming to Goodison Park, and in those sorts of matches, I think it's important your midfielders carry the ball and have that freedom. So interesting to see if he's involved or not. But I'm sure we'll have the team news.
Team's out now.
Now, yeah.
Yeah, Olsen in goal. Godfrey, Coleman, Holgate, Dean.
That's interesting. So no Mina or no Keane.
No, it's Godfrey and Holgate centre backs.
Wow.
Dean fullbacks.
Okay.
Decore, Gomez, Davis, Richarlison, Sigurdsson, Rodriguez. King's on the bench. Keane's on the bench. Allen's on the bench. Mina's on the bench. Iwobi, Koku, Bernard, and Onyango. So that bench automatically looks a hell of a lot better than the other night.
I'm just trying to figure out how the rest of it works. Is that Sigurdsson up front then? Or Richarlison left and Rodriguez right? Or do we play a diamond? Maybe a diamond?
Yeah, maybe. What with Richarlison and with Rodriguez just behind Richarlison? Yeah,
potentially. Maybe with Sigurdsson at the point. And it won't be a diamond, would it? Because
then Sigurdsson and Rodriguez will be getting in each other's way.
Oh, I mean, it's an awful one of them. I think as Dazuino says, it's Carlos Tombola. So Coleman will be right back, Dean your left back, Godfrey Holgate centre backs, and then Davis will sit, Decore, Gomez ahead of him, and
Dickin Richarlison.
God
with Sigurdsson out wide, or
God knows. I mean, if anyone's watching this has got any idea how we're going to line up there, do let us know. But I think that Holgate and Godfrey is that's a big call, isn't it?
There's plenty for us to pick holes in here and get called wrong, isn't there?
Yeah, which is what we want, really.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a massive shout, that, isn't it? Putting them two centre backs.
Yeah, it feels like it's going to be diamond midfield, doesn't it? Some kind of formation of that, but
I don't know what Rodriguez does up front then.
We'll see. Yeah, who knows? Classic. Jack McCann said diamond midfield ? David Southall said good content on the channel. Keep up the good work. Cheers, mate. Really appreciate that. And Neil said I feel confident for tonight, but the last time I felt confident was against Newcastle. So I know fuck all, going for 2-0 up the Toffees. It's just a weird team. I've got no idea how we'll line up.
Not at all, no. That's it. He does this every now and then, doesn't he? Just throws him on in like that, and you just wondering how's going to line up. I mean, on the flip side, Scott Parker's going to be thinking exactly the same.
Yeah,
He's so
so much we could pick out of that. But just quickly with their side, they've got Areola in goal, Tete. No Robinson for them. I thought he'd be playing left back, but he's not on the side. Joachim Anderson, Tosin Adarabioyo, De Cordova Reed, Loftus-Cheek, Lamina, Lookman, Harrison Reed, Josh Marja, Ola, Aina. So Lookman plays for them, which is not a big surprise. But Mitrovic isn't in their squad because he's tested positive for COVID-19. So,
all right, okay.
But yeah, what do you think about the centre backs there? No Keane or Mina, and obviously Holgate comes back in. That is a strange one, that isn't it?
It's a little bit worrying actually, because I don't think Holgate's been at his best this season at all. I know he's played a lot at right back, but when he's come in at centre back against United, the one that springs to mind. I know it was his first game back after months out, but he just looked way off the pace, didn't he? And he's not really looked 100% convincing. Obviously, Coleman coming back into big shout as well. I know he did well the other night when he came on, playing in that sort of weird midfield position he was in, which kind of worked weirdly. But again, yeah, that's virtually a whole new defence, and it's a big move, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is strange. I think what we've got to do with those two at the back tonight is we've got to push up and squeeze the play.
Yeah,
right. Because there's no excuse there, because you've got two athletes playing centre back. You've got lads who, if the ball gets knocked over the top, they should be able to turn and run back and be able to retrieve it still. I think it'll be Cordova Reed up front for them. He's relatively quick, but he's not blistering by any means. So you'd like to think that we can be a bit more on the front foot. We can press higher up a little bit and then really squeeze the play. Because I think against Newcastle, we sort of made it a bit too easy for them to get out on the counter attack, didn't we? And they were able to get into different areas. But
yeah, we can't play anything like that. It's
a little bit strange. It's just I think just to not have one of Keane or Mina. I mean, it will be a long time, since Everton started the Premier League game without one of those two playing centre back.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess it hints at he's taken midweek and obviously next weekend very, very seriously. So it looks like this line at the back is very much got one eye on Man City and Liverpool. But then again, Keane.
I suppose there's a lot of the lads in
Keane, are they players who need dropping or resting necessarily?
Maybe you should have a look at Holgate and Godfrey as a two, because I think you might see them as being sort of like the future of all this, and I think Godfrey's got to play now. We might feel like Holgate deserves a chance, but I think that'll be probably the fourth different centre back partnership we've had in the last 4 games, because it was at Leeds it was Godfrey and Mina. Yeah, Godfrey and Mina. At United, it was Keane and Godfrey. And then in midweek, it was Mina and Keane with Godfrey playing right back. And now it's Holgate and Godfrey. So it's changing every 4 games, every game seemingly at the moment. Which is, he did this a bit last year though, didn't he? Remember, where we thought Holgate and Mina were settled, and he'd bring Keane back in and he'd switch things up a little bit. So maybe it's just something the manager thinks is not as big a deal as we do.
I suppose so. Yeah. We do have a tendency to look at things and be a bit shocked and panicked, don't we? I think it's another game. I think we say this before every game now. It's a big game for us because we need to win these to keep up the pace. And when the manager does start making little tweaks like that, and you're not sure, and you're wondering if it's going to work, it just adds to that sense of panic that we're going to blow up, doesn't it?
Yeah. Just a few comments, mate. Interesting ones from Jack, saying that potential 4-2-3-1. I saw a tweet after the United game saying Ancelotti apparently said to the Italian press that long term he wants to play 4-3-2-1 at Everton. So it could potentially be Richarlison up front with Sigurdsson and Rodriguez just sort of floating in the little spaces behind, which I never really liked that formation, to be honest. It reminds me of Newcastle as well, where we sort of tried to do that away, and it was horrendous and just didn't work at all.
It's very mid-90s.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
the formation was huge Christmas in the 90s, tree. Wasn't it?
And Neil said I thought King was nailed on to start.
Me too. Yeah.
Centre half pair is a shock, and CG saying if King doesn't start tonight, when does he? I think that's probably a decent point, to be fair, because he's not here for long, is he? By well, he might not potentially be here for long. He's only on a short-term deal, and if he's not in the side when Dom's out, when's he going to play?
Yeah, that's true, isn't it? And especially against Fulham, who we picked for the signature, you kind of chuck him in the starting lineup for that alone, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but it's good to have him on the bench. We've got Iwobi there as well.
There's plenty of options, yeah.
Yeah, so there's decent players on the bench there to come on, and Alan potentially, if things are getting a bit mad, he can come on, settle things down, give us something. And he's just one of those players you feel like you just bring him on 70, regardless of what happens, what the situation is. You'll be able to help you defensively, you'll be able to help you going forward. So it'd be good to see him back on. But yeah, I've been doing our predicted 11 on the Pitch Sports app the last, for the season.
You were on for a hat-trick today, weren't you?
Yeah, I was on for a hat. I think probably could have sat there all day trying all different combinations and never ever would have got that today, to be fair.
I reckon Ancelotti saw your tweet, had the team ready and thought, he's not having that.
Yeah, I'm not your best mate, lad. Do
Right, should we look at some score predictions then?
Yeah.
Couple of shockers here from the group. So Mike Diassi said 2-1 to the Poshos, obviously being Fulham. And then Laura said 1-0, Adamola Luckman FC.
Mike's been a disgrace with these, hasn't he? The last few weeks.
Yeah. Although Laura did say it was reverse psychology, but then as Mike pointed out, it doesn't work if you tell everyone.
Yeah.
So, then Mark Mosey said 4-1 Toffees, Rob Vera said 3-1 Tops, and Hannah Farrell said 2-1 Toffees. So, broad range of scores there. How do you reckon it's going to go?
I think tonight might be the nice routine one we get. And that would be, it'd be great if we just 2-0 on 30, and then the next 60 minutes is just us knocking it round, keeping hold of the ball, keeping them at arm's length. I feel like we might just have a bit too much for these tonight. I think whenever I've watched them, they've looked good, but they're just not very good in either box. They're not good defending things. They're not really potent going forward. So I sort of feel as though even without Dom and even with a mad setup that we've got there, that we should be able to keep these at arm's length, like I said. So I'm gonna go 2-0 Everton.
Yeah, that was my thoughts as well. 2-0.
There we go.
Probably 1-0 and a bit sketchy, and then 80 minutes scored the second. So it's just sort of ease into Sunday night then.
Yeah, I'm sitting here saying 2-0 after 30 and the rest of the game's nothing. I'd still be panicking if we were 2-0 up on 80. I'd be thinking, oh my god, we can still mess this up. Yeah,
we were 3-1 down there at half time, weren't we?
Yeah, of course. Oh my god, yeah, that second half was horrendous, wasn't it?
Yeah. So hopefully we will have learned lessons from that as well. You can't take teams like this for granted at all. But yeah, I think we'll have enough for the win. Famous last words and all that.
Yeah, hopefully, mate. Hopefully.
You doing post-match?
Yeah, it'll be on here after the game. Mark Mosey, Rob Vera and Lyndon on tonight. So that'll be about 9 o'clock. Aside from any bad bars or, 20 minutes at a time or anything like that. Around about 9 o'clock on here, yeah.
Hopefully then it'll be another edition of Men in Hats.
Well, yeah. Well, Dave's been ducking it, hasn't he, since that came about? I think he's just a bit embarrassed because he might have lost his flat cap.
I reckon one of the dogs has ragged him.
Oh no, that'll be horrendous.
Yeah, that's what's happened.
He's launched it at his neighbours.
It's got by a firework.
Yeah, but yeah, I think Moses had a hat on the last few times. I'm sure Rob's got one somewhere.
Rob will have loads of hats.
Yeah,
should have one hat, surely.
Yeah, but we don't want to be men without hats, do we?
No, definitely not. Everyone then join Matt for that with Rob, Mark and Lyndon. Enjoy the game.